Twin Zeros at 4870 North Harlem Avenue in Harwood Heights, Illinois. Check out the full menu at twinzeros.com. Twin Zeros Restaurant in Harwood Heights not only serves traditional gyros, but also has chicken gyro sandwiches. Twin Zeros also serves a variety of sandwiches ranging from cheeseburgers and Vienna beef hot dogs that have recently been inducted into the Vienna Beef Hot Dog Hall of Fame, Italian beef, Italian sausage, and combo sandwiches, to ethnic favorites such as Slovaki and Grecian chicken. Slovaki is shish kebabs, specifically chicken or pork shish kebabs, grilled to perfection, served on a warm pita with tomatoes, onions, and our homemade tzatziki sauce. You can also enjoy barbecue ribs served every day. Twins is open 7 days a week and also delivers locally. Located at 4870 North Harlem Avenue in Harwood Heights. Check out the full menu at twinzeros.com. That's twinzeros.com.
This land of broken dreams, I have visions of many things, but happiness is just an illusion, filled with sadness and confusion. What becomes of the broken hearted who had love that's now departed? I know I've got to find some kind of peace of mind, maybe. The roots of love grow all around, but for me they come a-tumbling down. Every day heartaches grow a little stronger. I can't stand this pain much longer. I walk in shadows, searching for light, cold and alone, no comfort inside, hoping and praying for someone who cares, always moving and going nowhere. What becomes of the broken hearted?
Welcome to Four Corners Radio, and that's a very prolific song for those of us that have been through relationships that have gone south. The words in that are just eternal. What becomes of the brokenhearted to those that have loved us now departed? Even though a lot of us have had broken relationships, we've gone on and we've survived. I've talked about domestic violence. I've talked about domestic battery. Not all broken relationships involve that. And today we're going to start off the conversation with domestic problems. We've touched on this before. Our phone lines are open here on Four Corners Radio. It's 1-847-931-1410. Let me say that one more time. 1-847-931-1410. And my producer here is Matt, who just got off the radio shopping show.
Yes.
So, we want to start the discussion. I'm going to give some info on some of these domestic disputes because people get together with other people, and sometimes it's like oil and vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
And you want a relationship to last. You try your best, or she tries his best, or he tries his best, and always one party is not cooperative.
Yeah.
And that's a lack of commitment.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the major reasons that leads to divorce, and if you're not married, leads to separation. It's easier if you're not married because then you don't have to go through a legal system. You just pack up your stuff and go. But I was in Des Plaines the other day, and I picked up the local paper. And any local paper I pick up, whether it's Des Plaines or Elgin or Antioch, it doesn't matter. There's always a domestic dispute in there, domestic battery, something. And I'll give you an example of what's going on in Des Plaines. I won't, even though it's public record and they name the people's names in here, I won't name them. So, here's an example of one. A man was charged with domestic battery on Sunday, July 21st. He allegedly grabbed a woman and refused to allow her to leave during a domestic disturbance at his home. Yes, even though he didn't hit her, if you're holding somebody against their will, you can be charged under the domestic battery statute.
I'm going to have you use this mic. There's a little bit of an echo.
There is.
Yeah,
I thought that.
So if you want to use, we'll use mic 1, and we'll still have this up, but that way it'll be a little bit better. That's actually mic 2, so that way that'll find your voice a little bit better that way. So how does that sound?
Can you hear me better now?
Oh, yes.
Okay, sorry about that. I was in the radio shopping show earlier with Matt, and I thought I heard an echo on those headphones there, but I wasn't sure. But now we're going to get everything synchronized. While I'm doing this, our phone lines are open. Tell them the number, man.
That number is 847-931-1410. Again, that's 847-931-1410. Feel free to call in and be a part of the conversation. You know, you guys help, you folks out there help to make the show. I say that a lot, and I mean it full-heartedly here, that you help to make the show, you help to grow the station, as well as also give recognition to other businesses out there as well, too. So it's important to also do it that way, too. I am starting to hear a little bit of an echo on my end. I'm starting to hear a little bit of an echo. Can you?
Yes, we do, but we're going to get through it. Give us a call at 1-847-931-1410. And I was talking about domestic battery before we had these technical problems. But with live radio, this is what happens, man.
Yeah.
I had this in my old radio station, WCGO. All of a sudden, one day, the amplifiers blew.
Oh, yeah?
I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't hear the callers. I couldn't hear the guy. And we weren't next to each other like we are now. He was behind a glass booth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was an older radio station.
Okay.
And he was and he's waving at me. I had to get up, leave, go into the next room, and use his headset and stuff to do the broadcast. And I had callers online. You know, with these callers, it's feast or famine. Either you get half a dozen calling in or nobody calls in. So the point of this show is we're here to help. If you got a legal question or some other type question, if we don't know the answer, I will try to find out the answer during the week for you. How many shows offer that?
How many shows?
How many shows do that research like that? Go help out our listeners.
Oh, go help our listeners?
Yeah, very few.
Yeah.
But I meet with lawyers every week. I do paralegal work for lawyers, so I can always pick their brains for you if you got a question. I also, because I'm diabetic and I have some health issues, I always meet with doctors. My primary care physician, my podiatrist, my audiologist, because I have a hearing loss. So I'm always asking them questions, and they all know I'm on the radio, so they don't mind. They're doctors. They went to 4 years of college, 4 years medical school, 4 years internship, you know, and how many years of practice.
Right.
They don't mind. The point of a doctor is there to help people. He don't mind giving out the information. The only problem is trying to get doctors on this show is very hard because there's scheduling conflicts. They work during the week. They're very busy. And even the ones that I try to get on Saturdays, they have Saturday hours, you know, because people work Monday through Friday. It's hard to see your podiatrist or primary care physician. So I try to, when I get questions from the public, I try to go out there and ask the lawyers and doctors, and I tell them, hey, can you answer me this for one of our listeners? And I come back and relay it. As a matter of fact, you got a copy of my book, DUI Jury Trial, right?
I do, yeah. That's
here.
the one, yeah.
I put, this is the true story of a jury trial that I testified in as an expert witness. I'm a DUI expert. I've gone across the country testifying in cases because I'm authorized to teach police officers as well as lawyers DUI detection, field sobriety tests, and breathalyzer operation. So in one of the last chapters, I added tips and clues from our radio broadcast, how to warn people, how not to get jammed up. When you finish the book, and may have bought a copy off of Amazon. So when you finish it up, it's real easy reading. It's short chapters with the exception of Chapter 6, which is the transcripts from the trial. These are the actual transcripts. I only deleted the names of the prosecutors, the judge, the state trooper, and I referred to the defendant as John Doe. But everything else, and he reads like a screenplay. Take a look at Chapter 6.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, and like you said, it's like a screenplay here. You've got the Q.
It looks like a screenplay.
You got the Q and the A. The format of it too is also that way as well. So it's got that typed up format. So it definitely does feel like a screenplay. It looks like you're reading a script.
It's really easy to read, and I put it together that way so the average reader, lawyers and police officers like this book, but I geared it with an eye towards the average reader so they don't get confused with the legalese, that it's easy to read, and I put all the pertinent information, the chapters preceding the trial, and then I put all the transcripts in there. That's the entire trial. So I went into John Grisham territory there. But anyways, talking about domestic disputes, people living together, people involved in a relationship, sometimes emotions fly, and they do things that are not covered by the law. Like this incident here where during a dispute, he grabbed her and didn't let her go. So he was charged under a domestic battery statute. But there's also other charges that fall underneath this. I've handled as a policeman, a woman was trying to call 911. He didn't hurt her, he didn't hit her, but he disconnected the phone, preventing her from calling 911. That's also a charge, preventing somebody from calling 911 during a domestic dispute. It's under statutes there. So people don't understand you don't have to physically get in a battle to be charged with a domestic battery. So I want to just emphasize this stuff because I want to talk about things that people get involved in. The average person. I mean, the average person doesn't go and say, I'm going to beat up my girlfriend or my boyfriend. The average person gets involved in this because emotions run high, passions run high, people that are involved. And I'll tell you what's another domestic battery about people that are not related by blood and not in an intimate relationship is caregivers. If you're my caregiver and you take care of me during the day or whatever, I'm invalid, and you hurt me, you can be charged with domestic battery, not just battery, domestic battery. And if you're charged with domestic battery, you go to a bond hearing. There is no release like they do now. If you're charged with it, the police release you immediately. You have to go in front of a judge. We're going to go to a break, and we're going to, since we're talking about domestic disputes and everything else, we're going to go. Bobby Darin, the late great Bobby Darin, is going to take us to a break with Dream Lover, and we'll be right back with Four Corners Radio. We'll be right back.
Every night I hope and pray a dream lover will come my way. A girl to hold in my arms and know the magic of her charms. 'Cause I want a girl to call my own. I want a dream lover so I don't have to dream alone. Dream lover, where are you? With a love oh so true, and the hand that I can hold, feel you near as I grow old. 'Cause I want a girl to call my own. I want a dream lover so I don't have to dream alone. Someday I don't know how, I hope she'll hear my plea. Some way I don't know how, she'll bring her love to me. Dream lover, until then I'll go to sleep and dream again.
Every year in Illinois, over 30,000 drivers are arrested for DUI. Due to improper testing procedures, many people end up being wrongfully charged. The book, DUIs Decoded, cuts right to the chase and tells you how proper DUIs arrests are supposed to be made, from the initial traffic stop to the reasoning behind the field sobriety test, all the myths and facts about taking a breathalyzer, and more. DUIs Decoded is written by nationally recognized DUI expert witness William Polarinos. Available now at Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com.
If you have been charged with driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs in Cook County, DuPage County, or Lake County, Illinois, call the law office of Mark Sheblow at 773-775-5050. That's 773-775-5050. Attorney Mark Sheblow has over 29 years of law experience handling DUI defense, traffic violations, CDL violations, and Secretary of State driver's license reinstatement hearings. All aspects of your case will be examined in order to find evidence that may help your case, especially the statutory summary suspension of your driving privileges. If your breath alcohol concentration level at the time of the DUI arrest is 0.08 or more, then the summary suspension of your driver's license begins 46 days after the arrest. Time is a crucial factor in challenging the summary suspension of your driver's license. Our law office is located at 5945 North Elston Avenue in Chicago. That's 5945 North Elston Avenue in Chicago. And again, our office phone number is 773-775-5050.
We are on discussing today is legal issues. We're going to begin with some announcements.
Tuesday, August 6th, is National Night Out, and almost every town has some kind of a gathering with the police, with the community relations people, and with the citizens. It's important to go out there, meet your local police. Even in the big city like Chicago, all the neighborhoods are having the Chicago police come out for National Night Out. You're going to have to check with your local listings to see where that event is taking place. But it's very important. Big towns like Schaumburg, I believe, are having multiple events that night. It's really good because you can talk to the police. You could tell them, you don't have to call 911 or 311. You could just talk to a policeman and tell them, hey, I got this problem down the way. I just want to let you know anonymously. As a patrolman, when I was a patrolman, I enjoyed people giving me tips and clues. A lot of people just don't want to call unless it's a serious emergency, just don't want to call 911, but they want to tip you off on what's going on, what's irritating them. And sometimes they really got to keep it anonymous because let's just say you got a bad neighbor and he's doing nefarious activity. You want to tell the police, but you don't want to be dragged in as a witness, dragged to court to testify against this guy because you got to live next to him.
Yeah.
That's the problem a lot of politicians do not understand. When they talk, we need community to come out for this. We have to live there. Mm-hmm. We have to live next to these bozos. And I was an apartment renter for 14 years. I had to move from an apartment. I had a great apartment. It was, the lady next to me was in her late 70s. The two ladies up on top, the two apartments were older women. I was there for 3 years. It was like living in heaven. I didn't appreciate it. One of the older women died upstairs, and the lady that rented that apartment had a degenerate son. He got out of prison. Mm-hmm. He was involved in drug activity. He was causing all kinds of havoc. I come out. I was coming home in uniform. He's screaming out the window at me. Do I really need that nonsense when my friends and family are coming over to visit me? So there's an old saying that says, one bad tenant, you lose two good ones. Mm-hmm. Because I moved down, and so did the lady next to him. She moved out too. And she was there for a lot longer than I was. And these landlords got to understand that when you get a bad tenant, you have to take some kind of proactive action, or else you're going to lose two good tenants. And I understand that a lot of times the renter is not the problem is not the person causing the problem. Mm-hmm. Maybe her son, which is very common, or a boyfriend that comes over, or some friend that comes over, or an in-law, and they cause havoc in the building. It's ridiculous. You know, I worked nights for many years. I was trying to sleep, and there'd be domestic disputes upstairs and bottles being thrown. I'm trying to sleep, man, screaming and hollering, and people locked out. One night, I remember this around 1984. I was working days at the time because we were changing shifts all the time. Mm-hmm. So I was working days. I'm trying to sleep. I got to be up at 4:30 in the morning. Well, at 3 in the morning, I hear this pounding. I had my window open. It was summertime, nice like now. I didn't have an air conditioner. Mm-hmm. I heard this pounding. Rick, let me in. Rick, let me in. What happened is this married couple, the wife liked to party. Well, the husband wasn't happy with her going partying in bars with other guys, so he locked her out. So she's there for an hour, pounding on the door. Rick, let me in. It killed my sleep. You know, You need your sleep to go to work. It doesn't have to be 8 hours, but I need at least 5 hours. And we've all gone through situations like this, and this is the common situations that I try to talk about. You know, I don't talk about these murder cases and everything else, because if you intend to murder somebody, I'm not getting involved with the nonsense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm talking about people that commit inadvertent crimes. And domestic battery, nobody says, hey, I'm going to go beat up my girlfriend or boyfriend. It happens inadvertently because passions run high. Mm-hmm. They talk about DUIs. Nobody goes to a bar saying, hey, let's see how much I can drink and let's see if I could drive home. People don't realize the amount of consumption they've taken. And what happens with alcohol, and this is what I learned in my classes, and this is what I teach in classes, the first thing that goes out the window is judgment, good judgment. Mm-hmm. People don't think they're drunk because the first 2 beers go down slowly, but then the third, fourth, fifth, they go down real fast. And people have consumed too much alcohol in a short time, and they become intoxicated, and they don't realize it. Now, we were at a party last night with Leah. She's retired. If you listen to our previous show that we were here, Leah that ran the shopping network for how many years?
It was 25.
25 years. She retired. We were at the public house in Elgin, and we saw her off, and some people were drinking liquor. And I was so proud of everybody because nobody was over drinking. Mm-hmm. Nobody was drinking to intoxication. They were just having a couple of drinks, and we had food at the table. Thanks to Dino. Dino, thanks for all that food.
Oh, yes.
And we had chicken nuggets and
big pretzel.
Big pretzels. Yeah. I shouldn't have eaten it. I'm diabetic. I got to stay away from the bread. But my whole point is you go to a liquor establishment for a party, and everybody was very conservatively drinking. They weren't drinking to excess. They were very responsible. Mm-hmm. And the nice thing about here is we walked back 2 blocks, and people got rides home, even though they weren't intoxicated. Yeah. So, it worked out very nicely, and I'm very proud of that because you should not be getting a DUI in this day and age, right. 2024. But it happens, and mine is not to judge. You can only be judged by a judge, a jury, or God. It's not for me to judge. But people do reach out for me for these DUI cases. That's why I wrote the book, DUI Jury Trial. It's on Amazon.com, makes great reading. Matt just ordered a copy. By next week, I expect a review from you.
By next week?
By next week.
I don't know. I'll have to try to find time to read all that. You say it's an easy read, though. So.
It's an easy read.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay.
Okay. So Matt's a good guy here. Everybody listens to him. And this show's ending on Labor Day. So I just want people to let you know that we're going to end on Labor Day. If you got to reach in contact with me, go to my website, policeproject1.com. My contact info is on there. It's policeproject1.com. 1 is the number 1, not O-N-E. Real easy to remember. Or you can go to my Facebook, Pellerino's Police Project, or I got a second Facebook, the DUI Expert. Either one. Reach out for me if you got questions, if you got comments, if you read the book. It makes easy reading. I wrote it myself along with 2 attorneys. And we definitely tried not to put any legalese into it so people understand. Mm-hmm. But people got to understand the legal circumstances. And the basis of this is if a truck driver is charged with DUI, he not only gets his license suspended or revoked, he gets his CDL disqualified. And that's the problem. And truck drivers don't realize you don't have to be in a truck to get a DUI and disqualify your license. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are in their personal cars, off duty, and they just happen to drink too much or are arrested for DUI, and they face disqualification. If you get a second disqualification in a lifetime, you lose your driving privileges forever. Your truck driving privileges. Yeah, your CDL, commercial driver's license. So if you're a truck driver, the second DUI, which the situation was in this case, your livelihood's done if you get convicted. So that's why in this case, he had multiple attorneys. He had me examine the case as a DUI expert, and we went to trial. I won't tell you if it was guilty or not guilty. You have to read the book because there's a lot of twists and turns in it. It's a case that from start to finish, it was 3 years.
Wow.
It was unheard of in pre-COVID. Now, COVID backed up a lot of cases, but in pre-COVID, it was unheard of for a misdemeanor DUI trial to take 3 years to come to fruition. But that's what happened. And it took me 7 months to write this book, and it's out there. And I want everybody to know how to get it. It's at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. The title is DUI Jury Trial. Now, there's also something else I have to tell people. How many? We got 2 minutes? I received a recall for my Honda. Something in my rear system was defective, and it could have caused serious problems, driving problems. So a friend of mine had the same year Honda. I go, did you get this letter? And he says, no. What's happened is Honda, and just like every other agency, a Ford or Chevy or Tesla, when you buy a vehicle, they only have your sales address. If you've moved, they don't have forwarding address on you. So you may not be notified of a recall. And I got some notes here. Tesla recalled 1.8 million vehicles whose software may not detect unlatched hood problems. I had that. I was in 1983, 84, I was driving down the highway an early Sunday morning. All of a sudden, the road disappeared. I didn't understand what happened. What happened is my hood popped up, blocking my view on the highway. Thank God there wasn't a lot of traffic. I could slowly drive and get to the shoulder of the road until I could call a tow truck. You don't want that hood popping up while you're moving. But my whole point is, whatever car you have, you should go to the car dealership at least once every 6 months, have them check the vehicle identification number, and ask, is there any recalls on this? Recalls are free, So we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back in about 90 seconds. Just remember, you could take your car to any dealer of that make. So if you got a Ford, take it to a Ford dealer. If you got a Chevy, same thing, and have them check for recalls. So we'll be right back.
Twin Zeros at 4870 North Harlem Avenue in Harwood Heights, Illinois. Check out the full menu at twinzeros.com. Twin Zeros Restaurant in Harwood Heights not only serves traditional gyros, but also has chicken gyro sandwiches. Twin Zeros also serves a variety of sandwiches ranging from cheeseburgers and Vienna beef hot dogs that have recently been inducted into the Vienna Beef Hot Dog Hall of Fame, Italian beef, Italian sausage, and combo sandwiches. To ethnic favorites such as Slovakia and Grecian chicken. Slovakia is shish kebabs, specifically chicken or pork shish kebabs, grilled to perfection, served on a warm pita with tomatoes, onions, and our homemade tzatziki sauce. You can also enjoy barbecue ribs served every day. Twins is open 7 days a week and also delivers locally. Located at 4870 North Harlem Avenue in Harwood Heights. Check out the full menu at twinzeros.com. That's twinzeros.com.
Real estate, be it residential or commercial, is often a person's most significant and priciest asset. Entering into a contract to buy or sell a real estate property is much more than just filling in the missing blanks on the printed contract. It's wise to hire a lawyer to prepare or review the offer to purchase real estate and take full advantage of his legal expertise. With Mark Sheblo, you will gain an attorney with over 26 years of legal practice and one who has helped thousands of clients to buy or sell their homes or investment property. We will safeguard your interests and might be able to even negotiate a better bargain than a client without proper legal counsel ever could. Oftentimes, a prospective buyer will submit an offer without first consulting an attorney, not realizing that once the offer is accepted by the seller, it becomes a binding contract, and the terms of that contract are not easy to be changed afterwards. Likewise, as a seller, you too will benefit from first consulting an attorney before signing. Feel free to call us for consultation at the law offices of Mark Sheblo at 773-775-5050. Our website is sheblolawoffice.com. Mark Sheblo can be reached 6 days a week at 773-775-5050. Monday through Saturday. Located at 5945 North Elston Avenue in Chicago. That's attorney Mark Schieblo, 773-775-5050.
Hi, welcome back to the show. William Pellerino's here with Four Corners Radio. And earlier in your show, we were having some technical difficulties, but we're back online. Everything's good. The phone lines are open, but we want to change gears right now from legal issues, from domestic disputes. We want to go into our food and restaurant section. So one of our guests, who also advertises on the station, was kind enough to come in. Jimmy the Greek from Twin Zeros has multiple type of foods there, and the discussion will range on Vienna beef hot dogs because his restaurant was entered into the Vienna Beef Hall of Fame. So let's go ahead with that interview. Welcome back to Four Corners Radio. This is William Pellerino's your host, and in this segment of the conversation, we're going to be talking about food and restaurants. My guest today is Jimmy the Greek from Twin Zeros in Howard Heights, 4870 North Harlem in Howard Heights, Illinois. And welcome back to the show, Jimmy.
How you doing, Bill? Thank you for having me.
Okay, last time we talked about your gyros, which is very famous in the area. And I wanted to talk to you. You also saw hot dogs, but you were also awarded a very rare award, the Vienna Beef Hall of Fame. What is that all about?
The Vienna Beef Hot Dog Hall of Fame is there are, I'm not sure, you can't quote me on the number, but it's about 220 members. They're restaurants and hot dog stands that have been selling Vienna beef hot dogs, quality hot dogs for over 20 years, and that have been doing a good job in helping their communities. There's a few categories for you to get in, and one of them is the selling of very good hot dog, again, 100% beef from Vienna beef. Also, your philanthropic work with the community, and that your restaurant is part of the community. We've been there the restaurant has been there for 27 years. I've been the owner for 16 years, and we've always sold Vienna. We sell the Vienna hot dogs, we sell the Vienna corn dogs, and we also use Vienna pickles and Vienna relish. So it's something that we were very proud of. There's only a few people. There's actually a book on the Vienna Beef Hot Dog Hall of Fame.
Yes, wherever, you know what? Hot dogs is like pizza. Wherever you get them, whatever restaurant, it tastes different from the other restaurant you just ate it at.
Yes.
I could say no two hot dogs taste the same.
No, they don't actually. And again, it has to do with, even if we're all using the same product, it has to do the way they prepare it, the way they cut their vegetables, the order they put the vegetables on. So it all has a way that affects taste in your mouth.
And I don't mean no two hot dogs from the same place. I mean no two hot dogs from different places.
Yes.
If I order 5 hot dogs from Twin Zeros, they'll all taste the same.
Yes, of course. And we make our hot dogs the traditional Chicago style. The only thing that we don't have are the poppy seed buns. We do use Rosen's buns, but we don't use the poppy seed. But otherwise, you get the Rosen's bun, you get the Vienna all beef hot dog, and we add mustard, onion, relish, pickle, tomato, and the celery salt. So you get everything on there, and the sport peppers. I can't forget the sport peppers. So you get everything on there for the Chicago to run you through the garden.
So I'm looking at your menu here, which people can find at twinzeros.com. It's I'm looking under the hot dog section. So my options are hot dog, the Vienna beef 100% beef hot dogs, or Twins dogs, which is, according to this, 2 hot dogs on a bun.
Yes, a Twins dog is like a double dog. It's 1 hot dog bun, but 2 sausages in there. So you'll get the same toppings. You can customize it if you like. We frown upon asking for ketchup on the hot dog in Chicago, but if you do ask for it, we will put it on there. But the whole thing is that you get an extra sausage in the bun.
Okay, and then you got the chili cheese dog. Is that popular?
That's very popular. And most people do it with chili cheese and onions, but that's the most popular. But we also have people that ask us to put all the vegetables and toppings on top of the chili and cheese.
Oh, so when you order, you got to remember to tell them you want onions on it too.
Yes.
Because all it comes with, according to this, is topped with aged cheddar cheese sauce and tasty chili.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, the other one is my favorite, Maxwell-style Polish sausage. And tell our listeners, what's the difference between a Maxwell-style Polish and a regular Polish sausage?
Again, we use Vienna beef, all beef Polish sausages. The regular Polish sausage comes just like a hot dog. On the hot dog bun with the same toppings, the mustard, relish, onion, pickled tomato, celery salt, and sport peppers. The Maxwell Polish will come on a 6-inch piece of French bread with grilled onions or mustard or sauerkraut or mustard. So you can get either one you like, but it's a little bit simpler with a heartier bread, but it's from Maxwell Street. That's how they started selling them there, and that's why we call it the Maxwell Street Polish.
Yeah, it's very popular. I see a few restaurants have Maxwell-style Polish, but not all of them put the sauerkraut, and I like the sauerkraut personally.
Yes, we give you a choice. Since we do use a sauerkraut, we use a sauerkraut in our restaurant for the Rubens also. So we have it. We give you a choice for the Polish also.
If I do sauerkraut, I got to put extra mustard on it. You know what I mean? I got to load it up. So that's just my particular. Everybody's got different tastes, you know.
Yes.
What they like tastes good to them. I'm not a ketchup guy. I don't like ketchup.
Yes.
So I always order no ketchup. And of course, hot dogs don't usually come with ketchup, but on burgers, and you have to remember to tell them no ketchup because that's a standard.
Yes. We know you're from Chicago, though, because nobody likes ketchup on a Chicago-style hot dog.
Yes. So I think it's a New York thing, isn't it?
No, this is a Chicago thing. The no ketchup.
The ketchup?
Oh, the ketchup may be a New York thing, but I'm not sure. But in Chicago, you are not a Chicagoan if you're eating ketchup on your hot dog.
Yeah, well, I agree. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. I've been in many states and many cities for hot dogs, pizza, and gyros. Chicago is the best. I mean, you can't beat it. New York was no comparison. It's Chicago style. I remember when I was in the Navy, and this was back in the early 80s, and I go to Memphis, Tennessee. First time I've ever been there. I walk around. The first thing I see downtown Memphis is Chicago-style pizza. I go, hey, 8 weeks of boot camp to get to this. Back to Chicago. I'm back home. I felt like Charlton Heston in Planet of the Apes. I'm back home all the time, you know.
In almost every state you go to, you will find a restaurant that has a sign on there: Chicago-style hot dogs, Chicago-style pizza, Chicago-style gyros, Chicago-style beef. There's always something there. I actually have a young man. Well, we're not young anymore. When we started, we were young. But he worked as a cook by me when I first bought Twins, and he has moved to Tennessee, and they have opened places called Chicago Style, and they sell the Chicago Style food there. And I was just in Florida the other day, and again, I saw another place called Chicago Style in Florida. So everywhere, people want to eat Chicago food. We do have one of the best mixes of food everywhere. All the foods you eat in Chicago, almost all the restaurants are very, very good. Due, in my opinion, to the melting pot of ethnicities that came here and all put a little bit of spin on the food, and over the years has become Chicago style. So I think that with that, our food tastes better than all 50 states.
I agree. And what I want to say, too, just because you're in Florida and you see Chicago style, it doesn't mean it's Chicago style and doesn't mean it's good. And I'm going to give you some from personal experience. I go to a Chicago style beef in Florida. It was actually Naples, Florida. And we sat there. I ordered Chicago style beef. It was horrible. It was horrible. It was not, I mean, I'm not naming the place so I could be very critical, but it was just horrible. The beef was horrible. You know, so just because they write Chicago style in Florida doesn't mean they got it. And you can't get, in my opinion, you can't get a good beef sandwich in Florida. But I mean, if you want to go to seafood, it's spectacular. You know what I mean? But forget it. If you want a Chicago-style beef or gyros, you have to come to Chicago, and you stop by Twins Gyros in Howard Heights, just south of Norridge, east of Park Ridge, off of Harlem Avenue. Stop by there, 4870 North Harlem, and you're open 7 days a week, correct?
Yes, we're open 7 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday, we're open 11 a.m. to 12 midnight, and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
To 6 or 7?
7.
Oh, so Sundays you're open 11 to 7.
Yes.
All right, so there's Twin Gyros in Howard Heights. If you're in the area or you want to stop by, you're out shopping at the Harlem Irving Shopping Center, just a few minutes away from there. Stop by, try out their Twin Gyros, their chicken gyros, and their Vienna Beef Hall of Fame hot dogs.
Yes, come by. We'd be happy to have you.
You got to come back one more time. We have to talk about some other foods that are on your menu. So, but for right now, we're going to go to commercial break. Stay with us right here at Four Corners Radio on WRMN 1410 AM.
Are you looking for a way to be creative right now? Have you ever wanted to learn to watercolor paint? You can now do that from the comfort of your own home with Zoom watercolor classes. Get professional instruction from nationally showing artist Victoria Elizabeth. These classes are step-by-step, broken down with easy-to-understand instructions. They're affordable, too, at $15 for a 2-hour class. Visit her website at victoriaelizabethart.com to find out more. That's victoriaelizabethart.com.
Is your Illinois driver's license suspended? Your driving privileges are important to your livelihood. You need your driver's license to drive to work, get the kids to school, or go shopping. Your driving privileges are crucial for your lifestyle. If your driver's license is suspended, call attorney Mark Sheblow at 773-775-5050 to begin procedures to have your driver's license reinstated by the Illinois Secretary of State's office. That phone number for Mark Sheblow is 773-775-5050. Mark Sheblow is an attorney with over 29 years of experience. Call him today at 773-775-5050. Visit his website at sheblowlawoffice.com. That's SCIBLO lawoffice.com.
All right, we're back. I hope you enjoyed that segment on Vienna beef hot dogs. I always try to throw in a little food and restaurants and a little arts and entertainment in addition to our legal issues, but we're going back to legal issues. And like I said, I do paralegal work for attorneys. I meet with attorneys. I can always ask them questions of what's going on. And sometimes I get emails or text messages from people I know and sometimes people I don't know, looking for the right answers to what's their problem. And I had a couple of cases like this recently, and I just want to give you an example. A friend of mine, he's a policeman down in the Skokie area, and he was driving through a fast food establishment, goes through the drive-through, and the manager who knows him happens to ask him, hey, I loaned $1,500 to an employee, and now he no longer works here. I can't get a hold of him. He's not answering his cell phone. I even tried to contact him through a friend of a friend. He's not answering. What do I do about this $1,500? So even though he's been a policeman for 31 years, he never been involved in a civil action. He didn't know.
Okay.
So he reaches out to me. I said, no problem. It's easy, I said. Since it occurred in the Skokie district, you go to the Skokie courthouse, you go through the security check-in. As soon as you're done checking in, you go to your left, and there's the clerk's office. And this can be done in any courthouse. You go through security, and you go to the clerk's office. If it's any amount, civil case, any amount under $10,000, you don't need an attorney. You can file a suit yourself.
Okay.
So he goes, can you write it down for me? This guy's a policeman 31 years, but he's smart enough to know that doesn't have experience in this. Mm-hmm. So I said, not a problem. I go, the motto is, I've been sued, have sued, will sue. So I said, I understand civil litigation. I've testified in many depositions. I've been involved in these things, especially car accidents. People get involved and get into the legal system, into the civil action. So anyways, I write it down. I told him to tell the lady, give her this letter, go to the clerk's office at Skokie, go see the clerk, ask for a civil lawsuit preparation. And what happens, she fills it out. She pays a $248 fee for a process server or the sheriff to serve this guy with a subpoena. And that's the fee she has to pay to get the case started because he has to be served. So she pays the $248 and she gets him into court, and then the judge will make a decision if he's going to pay or not. And that's a civil action taken without the use of an attorney because the dollar amount is less than $10,000. So I wrote 2 pages on this, and he gives it to her. So anyways, 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks go by. He's driving through the same drive-through. And she sees him, and she goes, hey, I got my money back. So they had no contract. That was a problem. If you loan money or you give money or you do something, you should have a contract. It's always best to write it up and have a notary public notarize your signatures. She had no contract. What she did is she took that letter that I wrote, and when this bust out, and a bust out is a person with no money, when this bust out happened to come back to visit a friend of his that worked at the restaurant, she gave it to him. And she goes, the police gave me these instructions how to sue you. And he didn't want to get dragged into civil litigation, so he paid her $1,500.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah. Worked out well.
Yeah, so we got lucky in that. But the whole point of the matter is, before you loan money, I mean, I can lose $100, $200. I had a friend of mine, I loaned $250. He never paid me back. You know, I ate it. But when you go over $1,000, that's a lot of money, folks. So if you're going to loan large dollar amounts to people, you should have some kind of a contract. If you can't get something drawn up, you don't want to pay money for an attorney, that's fine. Have an agreement drawn up, have a witness to it, and have it notarized. You could go to currency exchange, notarize it. I'm a notary public. There, people have walked into the redemption center, asked to notarize. It's not a problem. All I need is an ID from you, a photo ID that states who you are, and you have to sign it in my presence. That's the key. So it worked out for this lady, but you know, let's not get in these money pits and these legal jams with people. It's not good to loan. Don't ever loan anybody the amount of money that you can't afford to lose.
Right.
So I would say any dollar amount over $250, don't loan it unless you have a written agreement. So that's just mine. I ate $250. You know, what are you going to do? Right. You're going to drag him into court. It costs you $248 to drag him to court. So what am I going to make? $2?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's another one. Another one, I got a text message from somebody who had some old guns that he wanted to sell. And you can sell guns, but you have to go through a federal firearm license dealer, an FFL. And what happens is a federal firearms dealer, he fills out the forms, he sends them to the state and to the ATF, whoever is the agency that receives the documentation that this gun that owns this person with this serial number is being sold to this person. Guns have to be very well documented because, you know, let's face it, what's the purpose of a gun? It's to shoot somebody. You're either going to shoot a target like paper, or you're going to shoot an animal if you go hunting, or you got those nefarious characters that shoot other human beings. And if your gun is used in a shooting of another human being and you don't have the proper paperwork transferred, guess who the police are going to come looking for? You, the gun owner. There's going to be a test, Matt. There's going to be a test after this. So you got to pay attention.
I got to have a test? Oh, no.
So, you know, Matt's shaking his head up and down, but does he really understand it? So this person wrote me, and I wrote him here. Here, I took this right off. This is easy. I took it right off the internet. Can I sell a firearm privately without going through a licensed dealer? And it's right on the internet. No, all firearms sales in Illinois, including private sales, must be conducted through a licensed firearm dealer. It's FFL, it's called. Do Do I need to keep a record of the sale when selling a firearm? Yes, you are required to maintain a record of the sale, including the buyer's information and details of the information. Now, once you go to a federal firearms dealer, and it sounds very complicated, but it's not. A lot of these people buy and sell guns. And the advantage to a federal firearms dealer is I can buy a gun out of state. So let's say I'm traveling in Virginia. I see a unique gun, and usually, it's probably a gun that's an antique or something that's not available in Illinois. Somebody sold it to a gun shop, but I just can't buy a gun. I saw this in West Virginia one time. I saw a unique, it was more of a collector's item. So what I had to do, I had to put money down, and I had to contact the federal firearms licensed dealer in Illinois and tell them, hey, I want to buy this gun. And the gun shop out there dealt with my federal firearms dealer who registered to me. And I think the whole fee cost me less than $50 to do an interstate transaction. But I was legally documented, because what happens if that gun is stolen? And what happens if the gun is used in an armed robbery? Or worse, in a shooting of a human being? So it's important for gun transactions. So this guy starts texting me, and I gave him the right answer. And it's no great secret. So this guy starts texting me crazy stuff, like, what if I don't sell? I just give them away or barter for future service. Barter? What? This guy's in fantasy land.
Yeah.
What? This isn't the game show network. Barter? What is this? So anyways, people are just cheap. They don't want to pay the $35 or $55, whatever it is. But let me tell you something. Cheapness will come back to haunt you.
Yeah.
So anyways, I wanted to get some of this stuff out because I get some crazy questions during the week. Sometimes the answer is real simple. I knew about the federal firearms license. You can also go to a gun shop if you have a gun. They're federal firearms dealers and sell it to the gun shop. Now, they may give you a lot less for it because they have to resell it, but it's legit. The sale will not come back to haunt you.
Yeah.
You got to be very careful with the law, because if you try to skirt a $50 or $100 fee, it'll cost you $10,000 in legal fees, to fight this case. Get charged with a crime and go see a lawyer, see how much it costs you. And I'm not talking about a DUI. I'm talking about a crime involving a handgun, Juries are not sympathetic to gun cases. Yeah, I got to say that. So that's from my years of experience. I just want to let people know I've been getting a lot of text messages. That's great. Follow me on Facebook on Pellerino's Police Project, or you could go to my website, policeproject1.com. Keep on sending the questions or the answers or the requests. Please buy a copy of my book. There's so much information in here, and it's not just the DUI. Those last chapters, I put information of how to, useful information, how to stay out of legal troubles that we've discussed in the radio. The last couple of chapters are my radio tips and clues. So with that being said, Matt's going to take us away for the week. Now, this is going to be a very hot week. I want everybody to stay hydrated. Yep. 2 weeks ago, my neighbor had a problem. She didn't drink enough water. She ended up in the hospital. I want everybody to stay hydrated, stay safe. Join us back here next week, right here at 12:05 p.m., right after the news, right after Radio Shopping Club on 1410 WRMN. William Pellerino signing off for the week.
Are you looking for a way to be creative right now? Have you ever wanted to learn to watercolor paint? You can now do that from the comfort of your own home with Zoom watercolor classes. Get professional instruction from nationally showing artist Victoria Elizabeth. These classes are step-by-step, broken down with easy-to-understand instructions. They are affordable, too, at $15 for a 2-hour class. Visit her website at victoriaelizabethart.com to find out more. That's victoriaelizabethart.com. Every year in Illinois, over 30,000 drivers are arrested for DUI. Due to improper testing procedures, many people end up being wrongfully charged. The book DUIs Decoded cuts right to the chase and tells you how proper DUIs arrests are supposed to be made, from the initial traffic stop to the reasoning behind the field sobriety test, all the myths and facts about taking a breathalyzer, and more. DUIs Decoded is written by nationally recognized DUI